And if you forget to delete this particular object, then this will be called as the memory leak. Hi all, this is me Karan. So in the previous lecture, we saw how destructor gets called in different cases. So here we are going to talk about the different properties of destructor in C++. So let's start the discussion. So I have listed down all the key properties of the destructor. You can copy them. And so if we talk about the first property of the destructor, then I will say name of the destructor is same as class name. So it means whenever you are creating any destructor for any class, at the time that the destructor name will be same as the class name. For example, let's say this is my class strategy and I want to have destructor for this class, then destructor for this class will be always like this, and it can have its own logic or implementation, but the destructor name will always be same as the class name. Now if I talk about the second property of the destructor, then destructor automatically gets called when an object goes out of scope. So it means, let's say I have my main function and if I create the object of this particular class inside main at this point, let's say, and when I will go out of scope of this main, at that time I will automatically call this particular destructor. And if I take another example, then let's say I have some random function, let's say void func, and I am creating the object of this strategy class inside this particular function, strategy obj. I will use this particular object inside this class, but when I will go out of scope of this particular function, then the destructor of this particular class will get executed. And now if I talk about the second property, then when we apply delete to any pointer to an object of this particular class, at the time we will again call the destructor. For example, let's say in this case I am creating the object of strategy class inside this function itself, and I am calling, let's say, strategy pointer obj equal to new and strategy. Then I will have to explicitly delete this particular object. That is, if I'll go out of scope of this particular function here, then automatically the destructor of this class will not get executed because this memory has been created using the new keyword. So here in this case I will have to specify delete and object. Then only destructor of this class will get executed. And if you forget to delete this particular object, then this will be called as the memory leak. So to avoid this, let's say there are 10 new keywords in my whole program, then there should be 10 deletes corresponding to each new. If I am having, let's say, 10 new, but there are only 9 delete keywords in the whole program, it means there is memory leak for one new. So I need to make sure that if I am allocating the memory using new keyword, that memory is getting deleted using delete keyword. So in this case, when I will call the delete object, then this particular destructor will get called and it will release all the acquired resources. Now if I talk about the third property, then I can say a class can have only single destructor. That is, any class will have only single destructor, and the declaration of that destructor will look like this. So it can have its own implementation, but there will be only single destructor in the class and its name will be same as the class name. And in C++, destructor overloading is not allowed. That is, we cannot pass any parameter inside the constructor. So now if I talk about the fourth property, then I will say constructor can be virtual. So it might happen that this class is the base class, and from this particular class I am creating another class by inheriting from this class. So let's say I am calling this class as a base class, and I am creating another class from this base class, and I am calling this as a class derived. So constructor of this particular base class can be virtual depending upon the use cases. So it might happen that here is the destructor and this is virtual. So this can happen. Now depending upon the which class object is getting created, we will decide whether to call the base class destructor or the child class destructor. So this particular class can have its own destructor. Now if I talk about the fifth property, then in inheritance, derived class constructor is called first. So let's say I have simple inheritance. Then in that case, if this particular class contains the destructor and this derived class also contains the destructor, then at the time of object deletion, this particular destructor will get called first, and then the destructor of the base class will get called. So this is how the hierarchy looks like. So we'll also try to do one small experiment around this, that what is the order of constructor call in case of inheritance and what is the destructor call in case of inheritance. So I hope all these properties are clear to you. Let's meet in the next lecture where we'll talk about some other topic. Thank you.